Welcome to the next Getting Started video for Office Expert. So up to now we have deployed the virtual appliance and we have registered also the Azure Active Directory application. The next step is to configure certain things in the UI and to deploy the first simulation bot. So let's have a look. One of the important sources for doing all this kind of things inside of Office Expert is to deal with the setup guide. Because in the setup guide you will find a section called Office Expert Simulation Bot Setup, which explains all the necessary steps in configuring the simulation bot. One of the first things, of course, is to download the bot installer. So our aim for today is to deploy a simulation bot. So you need just download this zip file, and this zip file contains then basically those two files, the executable and a JSON file. So that's the first step. The second thing is, whenever you have done the appliance setup, you need to download bot certificates from the appliance. You can do that by selecting Settings, Download Bot Certificates. You just save the zip file, download it, and we just deploy it in here. We just extracted the content. We extract it here. The zip file contained 3 files. So those 3 files are coming from the certificate stuff. Okay. So those 5 files are the necessary files you need to have in place on each of the simulation bot. Okay. One of the next thing is to configure the configuration JSON. Configuration JSON is more or less that sort of file here. So at the first sight you think that this is maybe a bit complex, but in fact you need to adjust here only few lines of code here. So the first thing is to adjust the bot name here. You enter whatever name you like. Please make sure that you do not change that name afterwards, because it can influence a little bit the look and feel of Office Expert Quiz. So just think about the name and just leave the name as it is then. You enter here the same name on line number 14. Line number 16, you can add here location information. We recommend to use here the ISO code for the country and for the city. And yeah, and then you are on line number 26, where you need to enter your tenant name. So something.onmicrosoft.com, followed by the application ID, which you received while you have registered the Azure application. The next one is entering the FQDN, or in my case the IP address for the server, followed by the password you have used while you have set it up, the appliance box. So SASL password and the SSL key password are those 2 lines where you need to enter your password. The last one here is the server section, the 45 line. You enter here the same IP or FQDN. And then whenever this is done, you just go down to the section here, authentication, where you just enter the username here. Okay, so the username followed by the password. You just save and close that one, and whenever you have done that, basically you just execute Office Expert. And one of the first thing while he's starting up is he's checking if he can reach the virtual appliance. In my case, or in that case, it does, because otherwise you would see here plenty of yellow messages. And due to the fact that this is an initial setup, the deployment of one particular bot, he simply tells us that there is no sensor configured for this bot. So within the next 1 minute, as you can see here, he will deliver a heartbeat signal to the appliance, which makes the simulation bot available for further configuration. So let's wait for that. And while we are waiting, let's go back to the setup guide, because in the setup guide, you will find here exactly the section which line needs to be adjusted. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So more or less 9 or up to 10 lines which you need to adjust in this whole JSON file. So not really a lot of stuff basically. So let's switch back to the bot. We see that he delivered already, or he performed already the heartbeat signal, and he will continue to do so for every 5 minutes. Let's go back to the Office Expert solution. So of course the dashboard remains empty, because we have not configured anything for the simulation bot. But if you click on settings, bot configuration, you will see that he delivered the heartbeat signal and that the appliance received this information from that particular bot. And from now on, you can configure any sort of sensors and to assign the sensor then on to the pod. So you now know the procedure in deploying and configuring the simulation bot. So the next thing you would usually do is to configure communication profiles and alerting settings, besides of configuring, of course, the sensors. And for the communication profiles and alerting settings, there are already videos available in how to do that. And yeah, check out the video section on our webpage to further watch other videos in that area. Thank you.